Hello friends, welcome to Dnyanadeep Academy's UPSC answer writing program. Today we are going to discuss a question from UPSC Mains GS3 paper of 2023. The question is on artificial intelligence, a very issue which is always in news, and we have seen questions coming in prelims as well as in mains. So the question is, introduce the concept of artificial intelligence. How does AI help in clinical diagnosis? And do you perceive any threat to privacy of the individual in the use of AI in healthcare? Now, the very first step that we try to understand is finding the focus and locus of the question. But in this question, all the parts of the question are focused. You'll have to write on every part of the question. Okay, so we'll see how and what can be written in this. Now, the first part in the introduction is introduce the concept of AI. Now, it is not only define the concept, it says introduce the concept, which means you'll have to go a little more than a definition. You'll have to write something more than the definition. So I've tried to give a very bigger picture of what artificial intelligence can be. So AI is a discipline of computer science that focuses on developing intelligent agents or systems that can reason, learn, and make decisions like human beings. Or AI refers to the stimulation of human intelligence in machines, enabling them to perform tasks that are typically required or done by human intellect. Now, for example, problem solving, speech recognition, and decision making. Okay. AI research has given us an excellent solutions to a range of issues, especially medical diagnosis. Because this question is about clinical diagnosis, you start this in the introduction itself. That we have many examples where AI has been leveraged or used in medical diagnosis during COVID pandemic. Okay, and this term AI was coined by John McCarthy in 1956. If the question said define AI, I would write only this point or this point. But because it is introduced the concept, we can write a bit more than the definition. Now, the second part, the focus in the body, is how does AI help in clinical diagnosis? Now, this can get tricky if you do not have the examples to substantiate your points. So please try to find as many examples as possible wherein artificial intelligence has been used in medical diagnosis. I've tried to give some examples here. Now, the first and the most important point here is that AI can help in predictive analytics for forecasting onset of some diseases. Now, the perfect example for this is Google's DeepMind, which has helped us and helps us in understanding the onset of diseases before they actually happen. Okay. Then we have medical imaging. AI can help us in medical imaging and help make medical diagnosis much better. Then examples here are IBM's Watson Health. Right. This can, based on images or X-rays, it can help us find out cancer. This is a very important example. Similarly, during COVID in India, Atman, developed by DRDO, was extensively used, and it precisely could mark out people who are COVID positive based on the analysis of their X-rays. So these two examples are important here. Then enhanced accuracy, here again I can take this example from Atman because it was trained on some formats of X-rays on patients who are positive and not positive, and it could accurately predict those patients who are COVID positive. Then remote patient monitoring also becomes possible with AI monitoring devices. If a patient is some faraway place in a remote area, he can still be monitored. All the medical parameters can be monitored, and which will help in clinical diagnosis. Then wearable health devices is one example. Now here Apple smartwatch is the perfect example because so many parameters of your body can be measured with the help of these smartwatches. Pulse, heart rate, sleep patterns. So a lot of medical parameters can be tracked, which will help us in medical diagnosis. So I think these 4 to 5 points about how AI can help us in clinical diagnosis are sufficient. Now the next part is, do you think it is a threat to privacy of the individual by using AI in healthcare? So obviously your answer has to be yes, because technology is always a double-edged sword. If it is good, it is also bad, and it can be used in a very negative way as well. So your answer should be yes, there is a threat of breach of privacy of individuals. Now, how is that possible? The first point is data security issues. Because after, even if you're leveraging AI, the problem of data security always is there. And even in India, we have seen some instances where data leaks from government COVID applications have happened. So that is one real threat. Then there is identity theft, okay, because there are common information repositories. Medical data can be, unauthorizedly accessed, and there can be identity theft. Then commercialization of personal data, selling of data for some commercial gains can happen. Then there's misuse by insurance companies. Imagine insurance companies getting these data from AI applications. It would result in AI insurance companies selectively giving insurance or issuing insurances. That would actually breach the rights of individuals, and it is a real threat to security. Then unauthorized surveillance possible through wearable devices also. Though these devices can actually track and tap very essential medical parameters of a patient, but they can also be used in a wrong way to track or surveillance of these individuals. So these are the threats which we see in the use of AI in healthcare. Now, you can write one separate point where you give some solutions to this or way ahead, but I think you should take these points into conclusion itself. So what should be your conclusion? It should be actually positive. You should not be, saying that because of some threats, we should not be using AI in the healthcare. In fact, we should be using it, but with some precautions. So AI holds a transformative potential for healthcare. But as with any potential tool, it comes with challenges, especially concerning the data privacy. Then there is a necessity to strike a balance between leveraging AI's capabilities while ensuring that patients' privacy remains uncompromised. This is the way forward. And then there's one more important point. The way forward-looking, collaborative approach should be there between development of AI apps and the medical fraternity. Then regulated approach based on transparency, accountability, and ethical use of AI is the way forward. Okay, so this is how you would end your answer on a positive note. To actually have a very good perspective of how to write answers on AI, you have an issue of artificial intelligence in the month of February 2024. So there you'll find a lot of examples, and you'll also find different ways to introduce the question or even conclude the question. So that issue of Yojana will actually help you write any questions on artificial intelligence. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.